Hello, Fear the Mia Cat here. Welcome to another episode of my Let's Play of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. I tried to record this live, but I'm really not very good at recording it live. It's one of the reasons why it takes me a while to make these videos, because I need to record the sound separately. So you're getting one with pre-recorded dialogue, as it were, here. It's mostly going to be side quests. If you remember from the last episode, a full 8 days ago, or at least 8 days when I'm recording this, it might end up being even longer. For some reason, this doesn't destroy the rock you've actually placed the bomb in front of, but it does destroy everything behind it. Anyway, if you remember from last time, we just finished getting the last spiritual stone. So now it's mostly going to be side quests, and a heck of a lot of it is going to be just getting Gold Skultulas. I was hoping that I could get 50 so that I would manage to get the Giant's Wallet, which would be very helpful when I sell the bunny hood, the bunny mask. It's called the bunny hood for some reason, because then we'll get more money from the guy. The guy just fills up your wallet basically. But we just don't have enough. There just isn't enough there. So I ended up just getting 25 sculptures in this episode and calling that good. I know that sex attitudes towards sex are different in Japan to what they are in Britain. Maybe that's because we still have that Victorian thing to a small extent. Certainly not as much as we did a few decades ago. Or I don't know what it is. But still, I do think that the people who created this enjoy the body of the Great Fairies a little too much. It seems a bit gratuitous. And her laugh is just weird as well. Anyway, Ferraris, whatever you want to call it, Ferrero Rocher's wind. That's one way to put it. Isn't that helpful? There are spells that are more helpful that you can get later, or at least one, but Ferrero Rocher's wind isn't. It would be more helpful if you could use it anywhere, because then you'd be able to set up warp points to travel more quickly across Hyrule Field and places like that, but you can only use it in dungeon. And going back in the dungeon means respawning most of the creatures you've already killed. So it's not that helpful. Now I've tried to set up a sense of flow and transition moving around in this episode by ensuring myself travelling from place to place, so it's not like I skipped right from Zora's domain to the graveyard, because there is a lot of travelling in this episode due to the fact that it's collecting stuff. So I've tried to show myself travelling just a little bit for that. I've adjusted the sound levels a bit again, and yeah, that's 22 Gold Skultulas, and try to make the sound as best I can, so it is now firmly fixed, or firmly crooked and unfixed in this episode now, I guess. I don't know how to make it better than this. wonder what treasure that could be. Anyway, you don't really need to go in here. It does give you a bit of a clue about something you can do in the graveyard later. But it's not vital. I just thought I'd show it off because not a lot of Let's Players do show it off, and you might not necessarily think of going in there. So, now you might remember near the beginning in episode, I don't know, 2 or 3, that we couldn't get the tokens from these Skultulas because they're too high up. But now we've got the boomerang, it's finally possible. Rather annoyingly, the other Gold Skultula is a long way away. Long Wax is larger than you think. I will get revenge on these birds. Birds are really irritating. Thought I'd just show off the fact that you can get a heart from these pots, or I got one at this point anyway. I don't know if you always can, but I guess just to remind you that you can get useful stuff there. You might remember this scene from the prologue of the game, and you might also notice it suddenly started raining. Now, you'll see this a lot in films, and I think it's a bit overused, this thing of rain as a sort of portent of doom, to show the fact that it's kind of the darkest hour. I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with Nintendo using this, the weather, to show that someone's in a dire situation. I just think that using rain here is a little kind of obvious. I bet you thought she was riding on Ganondorf's horse, didn't you? At least the first time you played it. Most likely everyone who's watching this has already played this game or has decided they never will. I must admit his horse looks quite cool with the armour and those glowing red eyes. It reminds me a little bit of the horses of the Nazgul from the first Lord of the Rings film. Aren't you glad that they wrote down hee hee hee? It's that hee 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 is obviously vital to the plot, and imagine if you didn't know that hee 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 was there because you couldn't hear very well, and yet for some reason you're still playing this game. And not that I have a problem with people who can't hear very well playing this game, there just must be times where it gets a little awkward for them, but I'm not going to dig my hole any further than that. But yeah, aren't you glad that you know he said hee hee hee? It's vital information. Actually, to see whether the sound quality was decent or not, I just listened to this without my commentary and without the video on, but just the sound. I have to say they have done really, really well, not just with the music, but with the special effects here, with the sound effects. They work really well, I think. You can sort of picture what's going on in your head without actually having to see it, just based on the effects, and yet they're not kind of boring. I was going to do customized thumbnails for this video, not, you know, customize my own actual thumbnails on my hands. I mean the little picture that you get to show what's on the video, and I forgot, so it's probably going to be whichever ones YouTube comes up with. I've always thought it was a surprisingly mournful song, this. I mean, you wouldn't have thought it would be dance music or anything, that wouldn't really suit it, but it seems that there's nothing particularly mournful about kind of opening the door of time. I suppose there must be some sort of psychic link between her and the Ocarina. Maybe because she's the princess. I don't know. Apparently you can only somersault on the actual path. Enjoy this, because this is the last time the market's going to look this lively for quite some time. Well, I suppose there's another bit later on in the video. I contradict myself. But yeah, the place looks quite different in 6 years from now. I was hoping to find a Gold Skultula here somewhere, but even when I turn it to night, because some of them only come out at night, I still couldn't find one. You have to be at a very specific part of these vines. You have to be in sort of the middle of the middle vine. You might remember we were told before that there was another great fairy near the castle. I don't like to keep the bombs up on the C menu for very long, because if you accidentally drop one of the bombs, you could end up being hurt. Whereas if you accidentally play the Ocarina, I suppose you might play a tune that doesn't sound particularly nice. But that's it, really. It's the worst that can happen. These walls, these purple walls, always remind me a little bit of the Matrix. You know, at the beginning of the Matrix films, how they have the sort of green numbers scrolling up and down along the walls and along the screen, and it kind of looks like that. That's what it reminds me of. I mean, really, is it necessary to travel along her body like that? The graphics designers are just enjoying this too much. I'll shut up about it now. So you guys do Din's Fire, which is very useful in the Master Quest for setting things on fire in the Temple of Fire and in the Water Temple as well. And it's not really that useful when you're playing the ordinary version, but they've changed that in the Master Quest so that it's more helpful. I suppose Pharaoh Rocher's Vow is a little bit helpful in the Water Temple just because of how complex it is. It is good to be able to go back to a central place by warping quickly, but I'll be honest, I've never used it. So not a lot of people know about the Skultula here. I'd love to say that I was the first person to find it, but I doubt I was, because I read about it online. It's weird because the hole it blows up is behind the bomb. It's not directly below the bomb. I don't think there's any way to get the Gold Skultula without... Oh, that light was evil. It needed me to shoot it. But yeah, I don't think there's a way to get the Gold Skultula without getting that thing. So another useful thing that you can do with the boomerang, you can make enemies sort of pause and freeze like that. And that is 25 at last. It really is annoying how long it actually takes you to travel across Hyrule Field from place to place. Fortunately, it's a bit easier when you are an adult because you get a horse then. Technically, you don't need to go and do all of the side quests and collecting stuff I'm doing here, but I thought it would be good to wrap all of this stuff up as best I could before moving on to the next section of the game. I wonder what was called before they were cursed. Because before they were cursed, there'd be no point in calling it the House of Skultula. Stone of Agony, that's a cheerful name for it. Basically, if you have a Rumble Pack attached to your Nintendo 64 whilst playing this, it will rumble when you're getting close to a hidden thing, treasure or whatever. But if you don't have a Rumble Pack or you're not playing on the Nintendo 64, then it's useless. But I might as well show it just so you know what happens when you rescue him from the curse. Oh, has two giant teeth as a sign for his shop. Phew, it's a long time since we bought the mask from him. I suppose it's called the bunny hood rather than the bunny mask because you only wear it over the top half of your face, but still, it seems a bit weird calling it that. Anyway, that's about all from this episode, so I will see you next time.